I've got my rice in. For the white rice is 2-1. 2-1.
2 to what?
2 parts water, 1 part rice. What's number 1? I hear arborio, I hear short grain. What is it? What is it? It's medium grain. We do not carry short grain at this school. This is medium grain rice. Arborio, you guys, is going to be whiter, not as so much opaque, and it's going to be a little bit bigger with grains. Medium grain, yes. No, there is a difference. This is medium grain, yeah. Short grain is a smaller grain. So 2. What's number 2? Wild rice. Is wild rice really a rice?
No.
What is it?
Grass.
It's an aquatic grass. Okay, number 3. Huh? Jasmine. Anybody else got anything different? Nice. Yes, it is jasmine. Number 4. Basmati is correct. And number 5. Par cooked, not converted. Par cooked, parboil. Par cooked or parboiled long grain rice, which means that when they take it in the factory, they par cook it before they distribute it to us. Javier is just making that roux. Keeping on, brother. So as you guys can tell, the roux takes a while. It takes quite a while. So you want to make sure that you have, your gumbo and your etouffee going quite ahead of time before you start anything else that you guys have, say your prep. You don't want to start your prep for tomorrow until your gumbo or your etouffee is going. If you've got that on your list. So I'm going to cut up my sausage real fast first, because we always want to what? Prep the meat, right? How good am I going to be if I'm all ready to go and my meat's not?
Then you're not ready to go.
That's right. So we want to, bite-sized pieces, cut up your andouille sausage. And then remember how I was saying that the chicken's leg and thigh, so we need to bone and skin it. Yes, chef, I remember you saying that.
Yes.
Does anyone work in the industry? Have you ever heard anybody say echo? In a kitchen, a lot of places will say, even Starbucks does it. When you call out an order, echo, so that person knows you heard correctly and you're going to do the correct thing. When you say yes, chef, not only is it a term of respect, but it's also for us to know that you're hearing what we're saying and understanding it, and you're going to do the correct thing. Now, when you guys get done with this chicken today, go ahead and put the bones, with the carcasses, with the chicken stock. So they left part of the rib cage in on these, so just trim around the bone. You guys have had smelling good over there, Javier. Said smelling good over there. You guys have had a butcher shop, correct? So this little guy right here, So the chicken meat, when you guys weigh this out today, you're not going to have nearly the amount of chicken meat that your recipe calls for. So go by the amount of weight of the sausage. Same thing, about bite-sized pieces. Obviously, we don't want any fat in there, right? I'm going to add a little bit of flour, a little bit of my cayenne, a little bit of my paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, I'm not putting 3/4 of this in here, you guys, because I don't have that much chicken that I'm showing you. So I'm going to dredge my chicken. So Javier put his Holy Trinity in there. I've got my fat heating. I'm going to brown my chicken. And then I'm going to start my roux. So what you guys are going to do, because you don't have your stuff diced up yet, you're going to go ahead and brown off your chicken, put it in a container on the side, and then you're going to, make your roux. Start that way. I've already got everything prepped up, so it's a lot easier just to throw it all in one pot. All right, so got a browning on my chicken. My fat's nice and hot, so now I'm going to start my roux. This is when you would chop up your mirepoix or your Holy Trinity, right? How you doing, Javier?
Doing good.
Nice.
Doing a lot of stirring.
A lot of stirring. You need your roux to be dark brown. 2 reasons: flavor and color. So I'm about at a blonde right now. So Brooke, now on your recipe, doesn't it say to add my Holy Trinity in off the heat? Why? Someone tell me why. You already made it, so you know.
But that's not why. You make it because you want your liquid that you're adding is going to be hot. Your roux needs to be cold. Always when it's hot, it's cold.
Actually, no. That's a good point, because you're right. But that's not why we add it off the heat. The reason why we add it off the heat is to stop the roux from browning darker. You don't want your roux to burn, and it's going to incorporate those aromatics into a hot roux just as well as it is if the heat was on. It's to stop the cooking process of your roux. While I'm waiting for that to brown, I'm going to go ahead and cut my fish. So what are some of the reasons why you guys put your fish in milk? Not so much impurities. It's more for flavor, and some people have a belief that it also helps aid the texture and the gaminess of it. So I'm going to do half corn flour and half cornmeal. Does anyone know what corn flour is? It's called masa harina. Okay, so I've got that going. So I'm gonna soak my fish for just a few minutes, not very long. Those of you who are doing the fish today, you've got a very large fillet. This is just the tail end of it that I took off. What we want to do is trim it up a little bit. But we're going to make little fish fingers. So obviously the fatter part of the fish, you're going to do what? No. Not as wide. Towards the tail end, you're going to go a little bit. Right. If they're really thick, if they're really thick like this, you actually may need to trim off the bottom. Go ahead and cut them in half so they cook faster. The thinner pieces, you're not going to have to worry about that. So see how I'm multitasking, you guys?
Yes, chef.
So this is what I'd like to see you guys do today. Multitask, work as a group, be a team. Javier's up here being a team with me. Give him a hand. Isn't he doing a brilliant job? Nice job. It's kind of fun up here, huh? He said to me a minute ago, I feel like I'm on the Food Network. He's going to add the crawfish to it, bring to a boil, reduce to a simmer, and then you're going to let it simmer to incorporate and marry the flavors as well as let it thicken up. Generally speaking, when you do this fish, you don't have that much waste because there's not a whole bunch of waste for it. So can you guys see how this is starting to get dark? It's still tan though, it's not dark enough. One thing I will warn you about on the roux is when it starts to darken, it goes fast. It's kind of like when you're doing toasting nuts in the oven. Once it browns, it starts to burn, right? So you're just going to lightly judge your fish fingers in the spreading. With a towel, grab your pan out of the oven. Oh yeah, I'm ready. So the moisture's going out of my rice. Here's the main thing though, guys. Taste it. So I'm going to turn my temp down and keep it warm in there. So yeah, it's starting to thicken up nicely. Alrighty, I think we're about there. I can smell the nuttiness. That's what you guys are looking for. Very, very deep nutty smell. So I'm going to take it off the heat and I'm going to add my Holy Trinity. Off the heat, I want to stir it in so it stops the cooking of my roux. Simmer my veg for 5 minutes. Over low heat, guys. Why do I want my stock boiling? I don't want to cool it, and what else? Okay, for incorporation purposes, and so I don't cool down my dish too much, right? Okay, so now we've got that working. I'm going to turn my oil on, draining ready for my fried fish. So I want you guys to add your stock to your roux. 2 reasons. 1, it's going to be boiling. 2, you're going to have a lot of stock to add to a rondeau. Do I want you to take everything out of that rondeau and put it in another rondeau? No. Add your stock slowly, incorporate as you go so it stays thick to your roux and Holy Trinity. Little bit of stock. A lot of bit of stirring. See how that incorporates, you guys, and it starts to get thick? Yeah, don't add any more until you fully incorporate that liquid into your roux. Looks kind of like mashed potatoes. Little bit of stock. That's about 1/3 at a time. You guys are going to have a bit of a bigger batch, so you may need to go a little more, a little less. So as you get towards the end of it, it's not going to thicken up as much as it did the first couple of times. You want it soupy, but you want that roux incorporated. You don't want it to be clumpy or just kind of hanging out. You want it fully incorporated into your stock and your roux together. So I've got that incorporated. Now I'm going to add my sausage and I'm going to add my chicken and my garlic, right? So am I going to get a little more thickening power from my chicken? Because it's got a coating on it. A little bit, not too much though. Now depending on your guys' amount, you may need to add a little more stock. So now I'm going to let that simmer 30 minutes or until it's done. So I'll fry up the fish. And then we will be on our way. So I'm going to check my oil. Not quite ready yet. So you want your gumbo thick, right? Shouldn't be thin. Shouldn't be soupy. Should be nice and thick. Shouldn't be pasty thick. Should be what? The consistency of what? No. What? Like a chowder, right? Remember, it's a stew-like dish, guys. You don't want it soupy, but you don't want it so stiff that you can't eat it with a spoon. A little bit thicker than that, and I'd be good to go. All right, my oil's ready. Here we go. What am I looking for? Golden brown. Am I pan frying or deep frying? Deep frying, guys. So, now if they're really super big, thick pieces, you're gonna need to what? Cook them a little bit longer, or maybe finish them in the oven, right? We'll have po' boy oyster sandwiches and bread pudding also today. You guys need help with the bread pudding, please come see me. You need help with anything, please come see me. I'm here to help you. I don't expect you to know how to do any of this by yourself yet. If you do, great. If you don't be embarrassed. That's why you're here. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Oh. So do you see how thick this is? Yeah, that's what we're looking for, guys. You want it loose enough to where it has some consistency, but you want it thick enough to where it's going to be hearty and soup-like or stew-like. Oops. Getting there. Anyone have any questions so far? No? So as my fish continues to brown, isn't that fun? Get to make decisions. Be the executive. Be the rock star. Yeah. So I'm going to plate a little bit here. Ooh, I'm cutting it really close again. So on your gumbo, you guys see how it cascades right over the rice and it has that nice consistency? Yeah, gumbo's classically served with rice. Same thing with the etouffee. So if I give you extra shrimp, what's that mean? What's that called? Lagnafé. Lagnafé. Think of that, babe, with the lag in front of it. There you go. Yeah. Should be, the roux should be not a lot, but it should be, like a brown leather shoe. So if I was going to serve this, you guys, as an entree, or a appetizer, I'd line it with maybe a little bit of leaf lettuce, red leaf to give it some color, a little bit of texture difference. I would never put it just on a white plate. Plus that lettuce is going to allow it to soak up some of the grease that's still on here. And it'll hold it still. Any questions? Okay, whoever's doing demo cleanup, let's go ahead.